Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about HOMEWORX Blooming Trellis. Now, this candle, you may have seen my daughter and I call this the quote unquote wedding candle when we did our little HOMEWORX haul about 2 weeks ago now. This is one of their standard 4-wick, 18-ounce vessels, and it's got this beautiful wraparound label. HOMEWORX knocks it out of the park with their packaging. I do have to give it to them. And this label in particular, I love this packaging. It definitely fits the design aesthetic that I have going on in my home. It leans a little bit traditionally feminine, but every time I look at this candle, my daughter and I just both say, gosh, that would be such a beautiful wedding gift to give somebody. It's just got the beautiful flowers. You've got that kind of like light baby blue in the background. Very, very pretty packaging. And the packaging is like this on this entire collection. I know that there's a couple of other fragrances that are returning. I can't remember. It's called it's not called In the Garden. It's not that. I don't believe so. But there's a couple of other fragrances. I know Coral Poppy was another one that had beautiful packaging like this. But you can definitely see when the candle is lit up how pretty just the ambiance is of this candle. Let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes on this one. We have the fragrance notes listed on the bottom of the candle as being climbing honeysuckle, soft jasmine, creamy gardenia, and bergamot. The top, middle, and bottom notes that are listed on the Slatkin & Co website go a little bit deeper. We have top notes listed as lemon blossom, bergamot, juicy pear. Mid notes, lily of the valley, creamy gardenia, honeysuckle nectar. Base notes of soft jasmine, opulent amber, and warm sandalwood. The pour date of this specific candle that I am reviewing is December 24th, 2024. All right, so my nose with this candle, this is definitely for those of you who like florals. However, I'm going to say that this is definitely a softer floral. The honeysuckle and the jasmine are definitely noticeable. I would say that those are probably the most prominent notes in here. Gardenia can oftentimes be a very heady floral to my nose. And I will tell you that while I smell a little bit in here, the most prominent scent to my nose is a soft honeysuckle note. Now, the jasmine is also toned down a little bit, and I will say that I think the fragrance note the accord that's in here that is possibly bringing a little bit more softness to this candle is the bergamot note. Now, I don't detect anything overly citrus in here. You do detect a little bit of it, but I think it lends a little bit of sweetness to this candle that can kind of counteract, like I said, the traditional headiness of like a gardenia, and even sometimes a honeysuckle for me can be that way. The other thing that they list here more so in the mid notes, which I always say with HOMEWORX, oftentimes to get a good idea of what fragrance notes you're going to smell in a candle with them, most times I would say the most prominent notes are usually listed on the bottom of the candle. If you go onto the website and look at all of the fragrance notes, you can get a little bit into the weeds there, and then you can kind of be a little bit confused about what the candle might smell like. But it is interesting that they say honeysuckle nectar, because it is definitely more, it's not really like the petals that I would get like on a honeysuckle. It's definitely more so that sweet nectary part. It's a very, very nice fragrance. This reminds me of a scent, truthfully, that my mother would have loved. My mom loved fragrances like this. We all know how much she loved lilacs, and I have that core scent memory. But this is a fragrance. She also loved gardenia and jasmine, and fragrances like this, particularly in the summertime. I burn this candle and I think, oh, this is one my mom would have loved. It's definitely a softer floral, which you wouldn't think looking at the fragrance notes. I feel like this is a type of floral that would pair, oddly enough, really nicely with maybe like some soft coconut type of fragrances, just for maybe more kind of by the beach type of vibes. It's very, very what I would describe as a pretty fragrance. It's not headache inducing. It's not overly strong. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle, since it seems like it's time for a good segue. Okay, so you can see here The wicks are performing okay here. You know, these are not burning as, this candle is not burning as intensely as some of my more recent HOMEWORX candles that I've gotten in. That, what was it? The whipped raspberry vanilla, the, even my fresh lilac. I'm trying to think, there's another candle that I burned recently from them. Was it the cherry, iced cherry fizz, which I ended up decluttering because I did not like that candle at all. Those burned very, very hot and fast for me. And I was thinking, oh goodness, HOMEWORX is using some new wicks, which they probably are. And so I was anticipating that type of burn for this candle, but I do have to tell you that I was a little bit surprised. First burn of this candle did struggle to pull out for me completely. The wicks on these, like you can see here, are not burning as hot and fast, which honestly I'm okay with. I think that if they did, it would probably get a little bit too hot and alter the fragrance of, like, the fragrance profile, which can happen with a lot of candles. But with this one, I did find that the first two burns, I actually ended up having to place this candle in a hurricane to try to get a complete wax pool. It just did that thing that a lot of HOMEWORX candles do, where if you don't let it pool out all the way, there's just like a slight rim at the edge. It took quite a while to pull out for me. So I think that these wicks are also impacting what I would say would be the strength and throw on this candle. The strength of this candle, I'm going to give it probably about anywhere between a 5 and a 6. Now, is it noticeable? Yes. The throw on it, surprisingly enough, is probably between a 6 and a 7. I can smell it if I burn it out in the open concept, but it's definitely more of a lighter background fragrance. It's not even as strong as, say, like the candle that I reviewed yesterday, which is Kringle Candles White Lotus, which is also, it's a totally different category of fragrance. It's kind of like a soft, watery floral, kind of in that body care element. That fragrance also by nature is not going to be like a smack you in the face, but it's definitely a stronger fragrance when I walk into the open concept than this one. This one is detectable. Now, I will say, personally, my preference, I think that the strength of this candle, it could probably be like one notch stronger, but I will tell you that this is one of those candles that I can only burn for about 3 hours. And something about it, when it's been burning for too long, it doesn't smell scorched, it doesn't smell burned, nothing like that. I think it's that I don't know. It might be that jasmine note starts to come out because it's a base note. The longer that I burn this candle, that jasmine starts to become a little bit stronger, and I don't tend to enjoy it as more. I've kind of noticed that about myself, that I do like jasmine in candles, but if it's burning for too long, it starts to smell weird to me. I don't know what it is. I suddenly start to find something a little bit off-putting about it, and then I put the candle out. But then when I relight it, a couple of days later, I enjoy it. But again, if I burn it for too long, then I'm kind of like, I don't really love this as much. So I would give the throw of this one probably about anywhere, again, between a 6 and a 7. This candle is not going to be a repurchase for me. However, if you are somebody who you feel like that blend of honeysuckle, jasmine, gardenia, a soft gardenia. It's not a very, very heady gardenia, mixed with maybe a little bit of sweetness from a citrus note in there. Again, we're not talking lemon, orange. It's a very soft bergamot type of kind of a watery citrus, I would say. Then I think that you would probably like this fragrance. Truthfully, you guys, if you saw in that HOMEWORX haul, I actually purchased this candle in the hand soap, and I think I'm enjoying it actually in the hand soap more so than in the candle. It's kind of funny how fragrances like that. I tend to be that way even with my perfumes. There's some fragrances I love in, like, to wear on my body that I don't necessarily like it in home fragrance, and vice versa. There's fragrances that I love smelling in my home, but I don't want to wear them on my body. I'm kind of weird like that, but let me know in the comment section if you're like that as well. Overall, you guys, I would say that this candle, I wouldn't spend full price on it, but if you can get it on a good discount, and just be aware that you're probably going to have to pop it into a hurricane to get increased strength and throw out of it. Be aware of that. So, in your mind, know what price point you would be willing to pay to get that. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't pay full price for it, but the packaging alone is beautiful. I do think that it would make a nice gift. I will say that this would probably be a very nice candle for somebody who, if you're looking to gift this to somebody who maybe is not as acclimated to home fragrance. I think that's the other thing sometimes we forget, is that those of us who love fragrance and we burn through a lot of home fragrance, our noses have a little bit, I want to say a little bit higher standard for what we expect strength and throw to be. The old common folk, I would say, would be very, very happy with the performance of this candle. But for those of us who really like, who we like to nitpick a little bit more at our home fragrance, we might notice a couple more flaws in this candle, like those wicks. Yeah, and we might want a little bit greater strength and throw. So I feel like I'm starting to ramble. This candle is available on the Slatkin & Co. website. I do have a discount code with them. It is Katie's Joyful Life. It is an affiliate code eligible for commission, so please only use that if you are comfortable. It should say 15% off of orders over $40. Truthfully, if it can be combined with a sale, then I would say go ahead and use it on this candle. But again, even with the 15% off of $30, my recommendation would be to wait for this candle to be on like a deeper discount and either get it at that price point. It would be great if they would allow you to take an additional percentage off. But yeah, it's a nice candle, not going to be a repurchase for me. I will finish burning it. And it's nice for what it is right now, but again, not going to be a repurchase for me. Let me know in the comment box down below if you've purchased this candle, what your burn experience has been. Are you interested in this one, or have I saved you some money? That always actually sometimes makes me feel good when I let you guys know, like, you guys save your coin. There's better stuff out there. So, and I'm not saying that necessarily with this one. I am saying that based off of the performance of this candle, the fragrance is beautiful, but based off of the performance of this one, I would say make sure that you can get it at a lower price point. So anyways, you guys, please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.